Everyone wants to be the chief. You've heard it your whole life. The elders whisper your name. The village celebrates when you're chosen. Children point at you. Women sing. Men straighten their backs when you walk past. You are the chief, the big man, the one who holds everything together. And for about 3 days, it feels exactly as good as you imagined. Then reality shows up, and reality does not sing. It starts the morning after your coronation. You are still wearing the ceremonial marks on your skin. Your head is still heavy from the crown. You barely slept. And before the sun has fully risen, there is already a man standing outside your door. He has a problem. His neighbor's goat ate his yam. His neighbor says it wasn't his goat. They have been arguing for 3 days, and now they want you to fix it. You stare at the man. You think about the word chief. You think about power, about legacy, about your ancestors watching from the other side, and then you think about a goat and yams. This is your first morning. You sit down, you listen, you call the neighbor, you listen again. You look at the yam, you look at the goat, you make a decision. One man leaves happy, the other leaves angry. And somewhere in your chest, a small voice says, "This is going to be every single day, isn't it?" Yes, yes it is. Within the first month, you understand something nobody told you. Being chief means you are personally responsible for every single thing that goes wrong in a 10-mile radius. Drought? Your fault. Someone's son left the village and never came back? Your fault. The river is running low? Somehow still your fault. People don't just bring you problems, they bring you their feelings about problems. Their feelings about other people's feelings about problems. You sit under the same tree every day and the line never gets shorter. A woman comes to tell you her husband is lazy. A man comes to say his wife is disrespectful. Two brothers come arguing about land their grandfather divided badly 40 years ago. And you have to sit there, calm, wise, nodding slowly like you have all the answers. You don't have all the answers, but you cannot say that. All because you are the chief, and chiefs know things. Or at least they are supposed to look like they do. So you nod. You speak slowly. You use old proverbs your father taught you even when they only half fit the situation. And somehow people leave feeling better. You don't feel better, but they do. You thought the elders were on your side. They were, until you made a decision they disagreed with. Now there are meetings happening without you. Quiet conversations that stop when you walk in. Smiles that are just a little too wide. The elders have been running this village since before you were born. They selected you, yes. But that does not mean they work for you. What it actually means is that you work with them, which in practice means you work around them. You want to change something, maybe the way disputes are settled, maybe a rule that hasn't made sense in 20 years. You bring it up. The eldest elder tilts his head and asks why you want to disrespect tradition. Another elder says your father never had such ideas. A third one just stares at you until you feel like a child who spoke out of turn. You are the chief. But you are also very much not fully in charge. And anyone who tells you differently has never actually tried to lead anything. Remember when you had a life, friends you would just sit with? Evenings that belonged to you? Food you ate in peace without someone waiting outside to tell you about a fence dispute? That is gone now. You are public property. Everything you do is watched. How you dress, how you speak to your wife, whether you laughed too much at the last gathering, whether you look tired at the ceremony. People read you like a sign. If you look worried, the village gets nervous. If you look too relaxed, people say you don't care. You eat last at communal meals because the chief eats last. It shows generosity. You sit longest at every gathering because leaving first is disrespectful. You give more than you keep because your status is measured by what you give away, not what you hold. You look around at your house, at your life, and you think, rich people in other places get to keep their money. Here, being important means constantly emptying your hands. It is not just the mental load. Your body is also on the payroll. Every season has a ceremony. Every ceremony has a role that only you can play. You dance when you are tired. You speak when you are hoarse. You sit in the heat in full ceremonial dress for hours because the ritual requires it. You slaughter animals with your own hands because that is what the chief does. You pour libations at dawn because the ancestors require it. You cannot skip it. You cannot send someone else. You cannot say you have a headache. Because if the chief does not do it, the ceremony is incomplete. And if the ceremony is incomplete, the harvest might fail, or the rains might not come, or someone might get sick. And whose fault will that be? You already know the answer. Now the government wants to talk to you. There is a road they want to build, or a mine, or a development project. Men in clean shoes arrive with papers and pens and big words, and they want your signature. They want your blessing. They want your people to agree. Your people are watching you. Some of them want the money. Some of them want to keep the land. Some of them want both and do not understand why that is impossible. And you are standing in the middle, being pulled in four directions by people who each believe they are completely right. If you sign, you betray the people who trusted the land. If you refuse, you are called backward, a man standing in the way of progress. If you stall, everyone gets angry at you from every side simultaneously. There is no good answer. And there is only the answer you can live with longest. And after you make it, you will spend years wondering if you chose correctly. It doesn't go away at night. You lie down and your mind replays the disputes, the ceremonies, the elder who looked at you sideways, the government man who smiled too much, the young man in the village who is clearly heading toward trouble and you don't know how to reach him. You are the emotional container for an entire community. Every fear, every conflict, every hope, it flows toward you, and it doesn't flow back out. It just sits there, inside you, getting heavier. Your father did this, his father did this, the men before him did this, and they all looked strong doing it. You wonder sometimes if they felt what you feel, or if they were simply better at this than you are. And then you remember, they didn't have a choice either. One quiet evening after everyone has gone home and the village is finally still, you sit outside alone. You think about the boy who wanted to be chief, the pride, the excitement, the feeling that you were chosen for something real, and you realize you were chosen for something real, just not what you imagined. You were chosen to carry what others cannot, to stand in the gap between people and chaos, to hold a community together through drought, through conflict, through change, through loss. Nobody thanks you properly. Nobody really sees the full weight. They see the chief. They don't see the man underneath, but the village is still standing. And maybe, quietly, without ceremony, that is the whole point.